A quick read of the description here. You use this wizard to configure the ASA to accept VPN connections from the AnyConnect VPN client. The connections will be protected using either IPsec or SSL. The ASA will automatically upload the AnyConnect VPN client to the end user's device when a VPN connection is established. I like the sound of that. So let's go ahead and dive in here and see what we have. And we're just going to call our connection profile success. If we were doing something like, network admin group or an administrative group, we could name it that. We're going to use that 10211 address right there as the VPN access interface, so that is called CCNA, and it's still up, which we like. And here, you have the choice of whether you want to use IPsec or SSL. Please see which protocol or protocols you would like this connection to support. And we'll just go ahead and leave them both there. And the device certificate, what I did, I made this with their little wizard. If you hit manage here, and if you have public CAs, Cisco will mention, by the way, you can get your security plans up and running quickly with an SSL Advantage Digital Certificate from Entrust, and you can enroll it with them, and they have promotional prices, etc. And frankly, I just made a quick one with the ASDM Identity Certificate Wizard. It's a self-signed certificate, so that's why we're going to get yelled at about not being a secure certificate, but it is good enough for our lab work. So we've got it right there. It's already chosen, and that's the only one we have. Therefore, our choices are slim. Let's go ahead with next. And client images. Now, you may have to go out and get your own image. This ASA already had one. But as you mentioned, it says ASA can automatically upload the latest AnyConnect package to the client device when it accesses the enterprise network. Yeah, we like that idea. You can also minimize connection setup time. If you had multiples, you could use these arrows to move them up and down. And also, if you want to add one, replace one, delete one, you just click image. You can browse flash. And here we've got a couple of others here as well, some AnyConnects. So we'll just leave that alone for right now. But again, when you browse, you'll be browsing Flash. And it mentions you can download client packages from Cisco. I'm sure they'll want money, so we're not going to do that right now. Now, here's the authentication. And you'll notice I have a couple of users here already set up. What I did as part of the pre-lab config, I had to set up AAA and also set it up for the console port, AA authentication. And I'm using the server group local. So I'm using the local database here on the ASA itself. If I wanted to create a new group, here's your group name, which of these protocols do you want to use, what's the IP address, which interface do you want to use, and since this is the only one I've created, and management, we could use either one of those. Then there's your key, etc. That's really beyond our scope right now. But what we could do, besides I like clicking on the buttons, I like to see what everything does. If you wanted to add a new user right now, then you could do so. You just do username, password, confirm, and it would add to these. And frankly, if I wanted to now delete Sam from there, I could do that. So it's gone. So some dude named Chris is the only one there. We're going to leave it like that. Now, I did create an address pool in advance, and I called that winner because that's what we are. And you can see this address pool is 10.2.1.100 through 10.2.1.200, 24-bit subnet mask. You can type it in, or you can do the old drop-down thing. This may just be my experience, but occasionally I've picked one like this, like the one ending in 224, and as I go to get out of it, I swipe up accidentally by one. I don't know if that happens to anybody else in the world, but that's why I like to type mine in. So this is the address pool. This is the address pool. Your AnyConnect clients will be assigned addresses from these pools when they connect. And if you wanted to create a new one, just click on it right there. You give it a name, you give it a starting IP, ending IP, subnet mask, absolutely nothing to it. And if you're doing an version 6 address pool, which we are going to leave alone, then you just do it the exact same way. Can't beat it. So let's go ahead and leave that pool the way it is. And I'm going to put a DNS server here. Actually, let's go with... Actually, you know what? I'm going to leave that alone for right now. Just going to leave that alone. What it's going to do is ask you to put a DNS server in, so we can just go ahead and do that. And of course, that information is going to be given out when they get their address. We're not going to worry about Win servers. And do we want to exempt VPN traffic from NAT? Probably. And we're just going to go with that. And then notice, it says the traffic between your client and your internal network would be exempt from network address translation. Actually, we'll leave that in check this time. Just want to look at it. Here's what we really want to pay attention to right now, and that's the AnyConnect client deployment. You can notice it says, on web launch, on accessing the ASA using a web browser, which is what we're going to do, the AnyConnect client package will be automatically installed. So we would really like that, because frankly that's what we're going to do, is use a web browser. To pre-deployment, you can manually install that client package. Notice that it is pre-checked, and then we should read the caution under it. Web launch is global setting. It affects all connections. AnyConnect SSL connections and clientless SSL connections will not work if it's turned off. Therefore, we are going to leave it on. Good choice. So let's see, for pre-deployment, please remember to include the client profile in your AnyConnect package that's already done. And here's your summary. Here's what we're going to do. And I will go ahead and do finish. And you can see we already had a couple of groups here. This is our AnyConnect connection profiles. And I already had one called Victory, I already had one called Sample 10, and here one called Success. And you'll notice it lists the aliases. We're not concerned about that, but the authentication method, AAA local, and the group policy down there, group policy _ success. And I want to show you group policies right now, actually. Let's slide over here, because this is what I'm talking about. If you're looking at something and just saying, I wonder what tunneling protocol that particular policy is using, or who that's going to be assigned to, that kind of thing. Well, it's all right here. There's your list of tunneling protocols for each one of the policies, the defaults and the non-defaults, who they were assigned to, and that is about it, the connection profiles and users, I should say. But again, you can always go into group policy, see that. Like I said, if you need a little piece of information, just keep looking around the ASDM and you will be able to find it. So we're going to leave that, and when we come back, we will use at least one browser to test our connection, make sure we can VPN in, and we'll see you there.